Life had left me bruised, broken, and drowning in a sense of despair. Bullying, trauma, feelings of guilt all weighed heavily on me. I felt anxious, depressed, and lonely. I felt like I was shrouded in a dense black cloud every day. I was so lost. Not knowing where to turn. I made an appointment with my GP, hoping to be guided to somewhere, something, or someone that would help me get back to the person I used to be. I started to tell the doctor just how awful and low I was feeling, but he just put his head down and wrote me a prescription. Take these and come back and see me in a month. That was all he said. I started taking the medication as I was instructed, and gradually, yes, they did stop me feeling quite so anxious, quite so scared. But gradually, I felt nothing, and I stayed feeling nothing for several years, until eventually I was lucky that people who cared about me found out about some different social activities with other people who felt like I did. And although I was apprehensive about trying things I hadn't done before with people I'd never met before, it really did help me feel a little less hopeless and gave me something to look forward to.
For many years, I lived alone at home with my demons and traumatic memories, copious amounts of medication, hospitalizations, and many failed attempts to talk myself better in my younger years. Life was passing me by. The more I tried to live a normal life, the more alone and tormented I became. My family tried to help. They were always there for me, but I finally conceded that nothing was going to change unless I got the right help to try to move on from my past. It took about 6 weeks for my first talking therapy appointment to come through, and when the day arrived, I walked through the therapist's door feeling sick and overwhelmed. The therapist did her best to put me at ease, and her soothing voice and personal anecdotes about her own problems helped me relax. I thought, I can do this. But every time I tried to talk about me, the therapist interjected with her own experiences, and I left the session feeling very confused and angry, insisting that I would not go back for my remaining sessions. My family convinced me to give it another try. So reluctantly, I did. Hesitating to speak, the therapist encouraged me to begin telling her how I was feeling. After about 30 seconds of silence, I began. The therapist made a few comments and asked a few questions, but this time it seemed to be about me, not her. I relaxed a little more and started to pour my heart out. I reached a point where I was hoping for some sort of comment or question from the therapist, but it never came. At this point, I looked up to discover that she was asleep. I coughed and she woke with a start and tried to laugh it off. I felt worthless. If someone supposed to be listening to me and helping me was that uninterested in me, what was the point in trying? I don't think my family really believed me when I told them, and I said I wasn't going to go back. They told me to give it time. So against my better judgment, I returned for the third appointment. I reluctantly walked into the therapist's room, not really committed to the session, and she greeted me with a smile and offered me a drink, chatting away as she made it. And she handed me the drink, and as she handed me the drink, she nudged my arm and said, "Oh dear, you'll never guess what happened to me last week. I fell asleep on one of my clients." That was the final straw. I walked out of her office and burst into tears, angry tears, and never went back. My family and I tried to complain to the patient advice and liaison service, but got nowhere. And I still live with my demons.